in and out of the shelter system endure way too much stress, setting them up for behavior problems. The kitties waiting for us inside need forever homes. Let's get started. I'll show you how to choose the greatest kitten for your life. If you're going to do this right, you have to spend a lot of time. The love at first sight thing, bad idea. Because you pick the one who's the cutest and who comes up to you first and you say, I want this one. And if you're going to be enjoying this cat's life for the next 18 years, then you better get it right. It's really very important to look at the kitties while they're in an open area, like a room like this, where they can interact together and you can sit back and see who comes to you. Also, I suggested to the folks here at Animal Humane that they not feed these kitties before we came to show you how to do this kind of stuff, because after they've been fed, they're kind of sleepy. So when you go to select a cat or a kitten, try to do it in the early morning or the late evening before anybody's fed them, and you'll see their real personality. One of the most important things you can watch for when you stand back and observe cats, which is probably the most important part of picking the one you really will work out with the best with long term, is see how they get along with the other kittens. Because the way they function together is largely the way the cat interacts socially. And if you want a cat who's a good friend, well, how does he get along with his other friends? And if you want a snuggly cat, one of these two little guys could be a pretty good choice. Yeah. If you look at some of these kitties, when I reach my hand in here, this little guy backs away. If I'm going to choose this kitty, I have to be the patient sort of person myself who's willing to wait for the kitty to come to me. All right? This little rascal, on the other hand, he's never met an adventure that he didn't like. These are the shy ones in here. They're hiding out and they have not participated much, but they're starting to show a little interest. And you think, well, they don't look like they're as much fun. But what sort of personality do you want? What fits well for you? Are you patient enough to watch them come out on their own? And if you're a high energy person that likes a lot of intense interaction, then get the more assertive cat. But whatever you do, respect their needs. Let them be hunters. And don't be the prey. Have toys. Take a look around this room now. When we first got here 15 minutes ago, these kitties were really quiet. They were sleeping together, looking very sweet. You really couldn't tell what the heck was going on. And we've given them time. They've gotten used to us being in here, and they're carrying out a whole lot of cat activity. And you can get a much greater sense of who's the assertive one, who comes to me, who wants to play, who's the little tough guy who's ripping up the little pretend mouse there. Everybody's doing his own thing, and we can learn a great deal more. And all we've done is just sat here and watched. Yeah, there's the quiet one right there. If you've got the quiet, retiring personality, that's your cat. You want the wild and crazy guy? You want this other guy who's climbing me like Mount Everest. But don't yield to the temptation to just reach in and mix it up as soon as you meet a bunch of kitties. Sit back and watch and wait for them to show you who they are. Now this little guy doesn't have any problem. Whoops. So when you're petting a cat like this, if they reach around like that, let them go. Give them a break. They're social creatures for sure, but they don't have to have interaction all the time. It's also important when you play with cats is use objects that do interesting things, erratic things. But don't do erratic things with your hands. So often I see people reach in and pester the cat with their fingers. And don't forget, you notice that this cat's sort of going after this stuff sort of, well, like he might like to kill it. Well, he's a natural predator. You see his claws are out? You want that. That's normal feline predatory behavior. But you never should allow that to be directed toward a part of a human body, because the cat should never think of you as prey or any part of your body as prey. You want him to have little places to go and hide. He needs to be able to get away from it, go into his little own lair there and tear apart his prey. Yeah, we have to do that. We're cats. These are wild animals. He's in the process of killing that thing, and he needs to be on his own time. You have to let him be what he is. There he goes. He's taking his prey. You leave that cat alone. And that does not make him a bad pet by any means. It just means that you have to understand what a cat is and let him be what he is. And at those times, he's got to be left alone. And when they come to you, when you're sitting still, that's your time. These guys are not little people in furry suits. They are actually wild animals we keep as pets. And so one of the most important things that we need to do is we need to set up your home so that when that cat moves in, he has everything he needs. Let's face it, cats are climbers and hiders. They're prowlers, stalkers, and attackers too, and oh yeah, they're also snugglers and lovers, but those feelings only come out after all the wild animal needs have been satisfied. If we're going to get what we want from our cats, we'll have to give them what they want first. That means turning at least part of your house into a feline jungle gym. You can build him a climbing wall, or you can invest in a floor-to-ceiling cat tree with hidey holes. Locate it next to a window so he can leer viciously at the birds outside. Claiming his territory and sharpening his claws are high priorities too, so make it easy for your new cat to respect your furniture by giving him his very own accessories to rip and destroy. Boundaries are important. He shouldn't mangle your stuff, and we hope you won't wreck his either. Normal feline predatory behavior is serious business, in fact, painful for people who don't plan for it. Without rodents or wounded birds to stalk and kill, some cats can't help themselves but to pounce on their owners. Don't be the prey. Dangling toys like feathers on a stick and cat dancers are just a couple of good ways of promoting healthy behavior. Once that need is covered, the two of you can get down to sharing some quality time together.